Hey guys, and welcome back to Hello. Hey, we earned 140 ounces there and lost 41 of them. Ugh. I left my engine running overnight. Wow, look at the fuel. Look at the fuel dropping. Look at it. As it makes its fixes for being on overnight. That's ridiculous. Oh, I'm such an idiot. Yeah, welcome back to Gold Rush. How's it going, ladies and germs? Did I? Yeah, I did. I kept everything turned off here. Thank God. Start it all up. Let's, why is my... I don't know why my map changed. Oh, of course it has changed. I think it's a global setting for the, direction of the camera in that view. So when I jump into the truck and change the camera view, it changes the camera view when I jump back into the what do you call it? This thing. The excavator. Alright. So weird without any music. Do you want to buy music, please? Can't believe how much, like, I can't believe how much gold you actually lose every night. It's ridiculous. It's not really every night, it's still 30%, but it's still 30% a day. It's not like it's extra because it's at night time, but yeah, oh man, it's mental. 30% is just crazy. Alright. 22%. Yeah, so I'm after like 250 ounces, but with the fact that we're losing 30% is so let's do 250 ounces divided by 70 times 100 equals, we're going to need like 350 ounces in order to get, we're going to need to mine 350 ounces in order to get 250 ounces. That's crazy. What is it, 357 ounces? Mental like. With each of these being roughly, or at least on average, 10 ounces, it means that we're going to need 35 cleanouts. Each episode we get between 3 and 4 cleanouts. So let's say, what did I say, 35? So 35 divided by 3, well, it's 3.5. It's going to take us 10 episodes before we've actually managed to purchase the old Arnold claim. Well, better find something interesting to talk about. I was actually just watching, so I don't know, you probably have heard the song "Man's Not Hot" by a English bloke. And the daft thing is, I didn't realise this is how bad I am. I didn't realise that the dude was actually a comedian, and it was like it all like derived from a skit. And the funniest thing about that is it's like the we always see songs like these, and it's hilarious. It's like what does the fox say? Remember? What does the fox say? From the that comedian group, and like there's so many of these bloody tracks that come out by comedians that just go mental just because they go viral, they just get shared. So yeah, I found out that he does like skits and stuff on YouTube and Instagram, and I was having a look, and the guy's actually like incredibly funny, because when I first seen it I was just like, wow, what a reprobate. Because I'd literally just thought that he was one of these, like, Londoners, like, chavs. Just proper reprobate. But no, it does turn out that he's, the entire thing was a skit. And, I know the fact it was a skit makes it more impressive, but the fact that I thought that it could actually be someone being serious, I think makes it funny. Because it's like, people nowadays, I could actually see that. I could see that being someone being deadly serious. Yeah, it turned into like a full song and was like charting in the UK, and it's nuts, man. Absolutely nuts. People like really loved it. And it's crazy because I feel like people are more likely to be like, oh, I love that song, Man's Not Hot, than anyone who was ever like, oh, I love What Does the Fox Say. Yeah, interesting. Wow, there was another song that was like that was like a song done by comics, like comedians that people thought was serious originally. Can't remember. There was another one like that though. Alright. Take that, dump it in there, 27.6. Okay. 27.6. So at least 37. I need at least 10 ounces to be anywhere near happy. That's terrible. Pretty much bang on 9 ounces. I understand that on average I'm pulling at least an average of 10 ounces. But I need to be bringing that average up. Right. I wonder what the gold map looks like, actually. Now that I've mined some stuff out. I'm gonna check that in a sec. Boo-doo-doo. Boo-doo-doo. So it still says it's got 180 odd ounces, but how I'd get that, I'll never know. Have a look when we come round. Oh, I suppose there's still like a decent bit of the corner of this that hasn't been mined. So I can still see it having a decent amount of ounces. $180 odd ounces though. What I don't understand is how apparently the one next to it's got 100 odd ounces left. It's like, what are you smoking? I suppose there's still a chunk left that's not been mined. It's crazy to think just how little there is to be mined that still contains that amount of gold. Because there's not an awful lot to be mined there, and apparently that's roughly 10 cleanups worth of gold. Like, are you kidding? Maybe it is and I'm just not seeing it. Alright. I do feel like a lot of my my scoop. Oops, that, I don't even know if that was like a decent enough scoop. I do feel like a lot of my scoops get wasted either I'm pouring them off the edge or something along those lines. Right, we're touching it there. Maybe that's just what I need to do. Alright. Maybe I just need to bop it straight down and then open it. But yeah, I was watching. So I was watching this guy that does Man's Not Hot. I can't remember the comedian's name. I remember the character. The character is Big Shaq, but I can't remember the comedian's name. But I was watching his some interviews that he done, and dude's like really funny, like incredibly funny. And it's quite, like I say, it's quite impressive that it's like this piss take character. Don't know. It's interesting when you look at stuff like that, and it's people that have come up and created these ideas that, and they're getting recognition for stuff that they've worked really hard on. And like before that, he was still doing well. He was still getting like 400,000 to 500,000 views on his little skits that he was doing. So he was still doing really well. This is before the full Man's Not Hot skit that he done. So like I say, he was still doing well. But yeah, it's pretty impressive. But yeah, I was having a look at another person, YouTuber, who guy's a douchebag. Basically, there's a bit of a run-in a while ago I had with him, and I was actually looking at like his channel's doing really well. He I'm not gonna mention him by name, but basically an English bloke whose channel is based around slagging people off. And he had a viral video where he basically he looked at Zoella done a calendar, like a Christmas calendar, and he basically like looked at it and ripped into it. And he was getting big off of that, and then I had a look at some of his older stuff because I was like, who is this guy? And I was having a look at some of his older stuff, and I was like, oh, that's weird. He interviewed Leona 36.5. He interviewed Leona Lewis, and I was like, that's odd. And it's like, oh, he done a thing with Ricky Gervais, and it's like, how does he know all these famous people if he's just like a YouTuber? And it turns out that he also had like a show on Comedy Central and stuff like that, and it's like, what? It's like, this dude was doing all this stuff before YouTube, and then he comes to YouTube and he's like a nobody until he does this video slagging off Zoella. I have no idea how much I earned from that. I wasn't paying attention. I was like, that's weird, man. And then I had a look at some other stuff, and as far as I can tell, he's one of these people that's just had everything handed to him, which is very sad. I don't know, man. It's like, see, if you've made your own, I'm not even going to go into this rant, because it's like, well, it's not really his fault if he had everything handed to him. It's like, yeah, okay, I understand. But I'm much more impressed at people who make their own fame, or not even fame, but make their own success. Make their own success. It's like it comes back to the Donald Trump thing, and no, before you start, I'm not going to get political. It's like people that say that, oh, Donald Trump's this, he's amazing, blah blah blah. It's like, well, it's very easy. Like, I'll tell you a really fucking simple piece of economics here. And it's economics not in the monetary sense, although it does apply to money, but economics in the like life sense. And the first anything is the hardest. So the so let's put it in a YouTube sense. First subscriber you make will be much harder to get than the first 10. The first 10 subscribers will be much harder to get than the first 100. The first 100 will be much harder to get than the first 1,000. The first 1,000 will be much harder to get than the first 10,000. And that's just the way things work. It's the way that everything works. So you take that from YouTube, you can compare that to life. The first $1 you ever make will be harder than the first $10 you ever make. Why? Because in order to get that first $1, you need to go out and get the job, like do all the interviews, the CV, everything like that. That first $1 that you earn will be harder than the first 10. And the exact same, those first $10 will be harder than your first 100, blah 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 blah. And it's when people are like, oh, Donald Trump's so phenomenal. It's like, he was given just $1 million and he made blah 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 off it. It's like, yeah, because you can do a lot with $1 million. It's very easy to turn $1 million into 10, a lot easier than it is to turn fuck all into $1 million. I don't know, it's one of those things. It's like, I will always be more impressed by someone who has started with nothing and turned it into something. I'll always be much more impressed at that than I ever will for someone who's been basically given everything that they've got. It's like when you see these YouTubers who hang off the coattails of others, and that's how they grow. It's like, yeah, okay, I understand that you're growing off of your own merit, because people wouldn't want to watch you if you didn't exist, if you didn't like entertain them at least slightly. But still, in the same breath, if you're gonna hang off their coattails, then you're gonna have a lot easier job. And that comes to the entire like collaboration thing. And it's like, collaborations are basically someone hanging off the coattails of someone else. There's only, well, I mean, I say that. There's definitely a friendship thing, and I done a lot of collaborations early on because personally I felt like, one, obviously it was going to help out the channel, but I feel like there's a certain difference to content when it's multiplayer stuff. Oh, that fuel tank's empty. Interesting. Like, I feel like a lot of my multiplayer stuff is a totally different tone to my single player stuff, and I wouldn't say more entertaining, but I'd say entertaining in a different way. And that's totally fine, like, but there are a lot of people who use, I'm just gonna kick these in, like little footballs, whee! A lot of people that use collaborations in order to further themselves based off of the back of someone else's hard work. 45.8. $5.8. Sorry, I'm trying to remember how much that was this time. I don't know. Like I say, I love doing 45.8. That was a good 11.2. So we're still averaging at the 10 ounces. Yeah, don't get me wrong. It's like there's a difference between what I'm meaning about hanging off of someone's coattails and playing with your friends, and if your friend is another YouTuber, then that's totally understandable. But there's definitely some people that you see that grab a hold of coattails for dear life, and then once one coattail isn't working for them anymore, they'll grab another one. But yeah, on the point of friends, it is definitely possible to have friends who are other YouTubers who you do collaborations with, and that's the point, is that they're your friends, and the reason that they're your friends might be because you have that thing in common, you know, the YouTube thing. I mean, at the end of the day, most of us started this because it was a hobby. So how do regular people, how do non-YouTubers find friends? Generally through hobbies. Generally, like, oh, we were at the gym. You like gym? I like gym. Not the guy, because man's not hot. It's a pun, you see. But yeah, like, people meet at the gym, people meet at frickin' knitting class. Don't even joke. My mate's ex used to go to a knitting club or some shit. I can knit. Reason being that she started knitting, and I was like, can't be that hard, and decided to learn. And I knitted a scarf, and I was like, okay, done. I can knit. Yeah, but Studio, that's not complicated knitting. Yeah, I don't care about complicated knitting. Piss off. It's actually quite interesting learning skills like that, but anyway. Yeah, so, I mean, I suppose that's one of the difficult things about YouTube over making friends via YouTube over making friends via other hobbies that you get, is that you always gotta worry that that person isn't wanting to be friends with you because they want to be friends with you, but they're being friends with you because they want to use you. Which sucks. Which makes, which can make YouTube a very lonely place sometimes. But yeah, on that sour fucking note, we're going to call it an episode here because we've run out of time. So, as always, thanks a lot for watching. I've been CJ, you've been awesome. I'll see you next time. Bye bye.